For thousands of years we have asked the same question: what is the true measure of a soldier? Is it courage, discipline, perhaps? But to find the answer, we must go back to the most fundamental of human needs: sustenance. Every army, every war machine runs on fuel. Today, a modern soldier's fuel is engineered for peak performance. A century ago, it was a grim, monotonous necessity. To truly understand the difference, to feel the strain of history on a modern body, we must travel back to the trenches. The mission begins with an unboxing. My modern field kit is pushed aside, replaced by a canvas bag containing the ghosts of meals past. The WWI emergency ration, a soldier's lifeline, was often a simple tin of bully beef, a hard biscuit known as hardtack, and perhaps some tea, sugar, and a lump of cheese. In stark contrast to the colourful, chemically preserved and varied contents of a modern meal, ready to eat or MRE, these historical rations are aggressively bland. They look like sustenance stripped down to its most Spartan form. The hardtack is literally a flour and water biscuit, baked until rock hard for indefinite shelf life. It's more stone than food. My initial reaction is not one of excitement, but of unease. The lack of variety is immediately apparent. Modern MREs offer thousands of calories and a decent macronutrient profile. This looks like the caloric equivalent of a prolonged sigh. Before I begin, a quick weigh-in and baseline energy assessment. Today I'm 185 pounds, and my typical day involves over 3,000 calories. This challenge will drastically cut that. The potential impact is not just a passing hunger pang, it's a measurable depletion of the energy required for modern, complex tasks. I'm starting at a deficit and the clock is ticking. The sun rises on the first meal. Breakfast. I open the tin of corned beef. It's a dense, salty block of meat paste, the ubiquitous bully beef. Alongside it, the infamous hardtack. I attempt to make the rations palatable. WWI soldiers would often soak the hardtack in coffee or water to soften it, sometimes pounding it with a rifle butt. I try soaking it in my morning coffee, but even after a minute it retains its uncompromising brick-like texture. The flavour? Purely functional salt, beef fat, and a dense, dry, overwhelming blandness that instantly fatigues the palate. A modern soldier's breakfast MRE often contains over 1,200 calories of relatively balanced nutrition. My WWI equivalent likely clocks in at less than 500, mostly in the form of low-quality protein and simple starches. I feel an immediate sense of dissatisfaction. My stomach is full, yes, but the fuel light is already blinking red. This isn't a meal. It's a caloric installment plan. This choice of rations wasn't arbitrary. The British Army and others prioritized shelf life, ease of transport, and sheer volume. The logistical nightmare of feeding millions of men in the hellish conditions of the Western Front demanded robust, non-perishable food. It was fuel meant for survival, not performance. And already, 2 hours into the day, I understand the inherent tragedy of that compromise. Midday arrives, and with it, the same old feeling. Lunch is a near-identical reprise of breakfast, perhaps with the inclusion of some dry cheese and a cup of tea. It's the repetitive nature that truly starts the psychological grind. Modern rations aim for variety to boost morale. Eating the exact same bland, salty, dry fare again is a depressing reminder of scarcity. I try a new trick, crumbling the hardtack into the corned beef. It merely makes the meat paste gritty. There is no joy in this meal, only the grim necessity of consumption. The energy dip is becoming pronounced. My focus, usually razor-sharp, feels dulled. In a modern military context, this is the time when I'd need peak cognitive function for planning or training. Instead, a sluggishness has set in. I feel heavy, yet undernourished. The caloric deficit is translating directly into reduced physical and mental stamina. The contrast with modern field conditions is jarring. When I eat an MRE, I feel a tangible boost of energy and satiety that lasts for hours. On the WWI diet, I feel like I'm already coasting on fumes. WWI soldiers didn't just fight the enemy, they fought the pervasive fatigue and demoralization of constant low-quality nutrition. It's a battle of will against the body's own demands. The lack of fresh vegetables, fiber, or varied micronutrients is a silent killer of morale. The soldier of a century ago carried not just a rifle, but a constant, gnawing emptiness. The final stretch of the day is the hardest. The sun is setting, and with it my remaining resolve. Dinner is, predictably, the final portion of the corned beef, a few more pieces of hard tack and water. The mental challenge is now paramount. I know there's plenty of good food nearby, yet I must remain committed to this historical prison of the palate. I am eating purely on discipline, not appetite. The physical toll is also becoming undeniable. My stomach is churning, a mix of too much salt and too little fiber. Digestive discomfort is a harsh reality of this monotonous, low-quality diet. I feel generally undernourished, a dull ache where I should feel satisfied. This is the moment of profound realization. For me, this is a 24-hour experiment. For the men in the trenches, this was the daily reality for months, sometimes years. Constant hunger, digestive issues, and poor nutrition weren't just an inconvenience. They were a significant contributor to low morale, disease, and reduced combat effectiveness. A half-starved soldier is a less effective soldier. The scarcity of 1915 was not just logistical, it was a constant, debilitating psychological burden. Their resilience wasn't just in facing the enemy's fire, but in facing the sheer monotony and insufficiency of their own existence. The 24-hour mark arrives, and I triumphantly push the remaining remnants of hard tack aside. The overwhelming feeling is relief, followed immediately by an intense craving for anything fresh, fiber-rich and flavorful. A simple apple or a salad feels like a feast. My final weigh-in shows a 2-pound loss, which, while minor, highlights the caloric inadequacy. More importantly, the energy assessment confirms the mental fog and sluggishness I felt all day. I have a newfound appreciation for every calorie, every nutrient, and every varied flavor in a modern MRE. Today's military rations are a technological marvel, designed not just for preservation but for performance, boosting energy, morale, and long-term health. The enduring lesson is this: survival is not just about what you can endure, but what you are given to sustain that endurance. The WWI soldier's struggle was a testament to human resilience in the face of scarcity. My day on the iron diet gave me more than just a momentary hunger. It gave me a visceral connection to the immense, thankless burden carried by the men of a century past. We owe a debt of gratitude to the advancements that have made modern military life more sustainable, but we must never forget the sheer fortitude of those who ran on so little. Thank you for joining this journey into the past. If this story resonated with you and you want to keep exploring the history that shapes who we are today, remember to subscribe to Through Time and share this story with those who need to hear it. The past is always relevant, and the story of humanity is one worth sharing.